Welcome to Farming Aid.
When we talk about the future of sustainable beef and dairy farming, most people focus on regenerative grazing, grass-fed systems, and reducing feed costs. But very few talk about the power of choosing the right breed. That is where Gloucester cattle are quietly changing the conversation. This traditional dual-purpose breed from Gloucestershire, England is proving that sustainability is not just about new technology. In this video, we explore why Gloucester cattle are gaining attention among regenerative farmers, grass-fed beef producers, and small-scale dairies looking for low-input, high-quality production. If you are interested in sustainable livestock farming, heritage cattle breeds, regenerative agriculture, or profitable small farm beef and dairy models, this deep dive into Gloucester cattle will show you why many believe they represent the future of ethical, climate-smart, and economically resilient farming. Gloucester cattle originated in the county of Gloucestershire in the west of England. For centuries, they were a dual-purpose farm animal, valued equally for their rich milk and their flavorful beef. Before industrial agriculture separated dairy and beef into highly specialized systems, most farms needed cattle that could do both. Gloucester cattle were built for that role. They grazed on permanent pasture, produced creamy milk for farmhouse cheese, and eventually provided well-marbled beef. That balanced design is exactly what modern sustainable farming is rediscovering. In an era where input costs keep climbing, farmers are under pressure to do more with less. High-yielding modern dairy breeds often require concentrated feed, intensive veterinary management, and carefully controlled housing conditions. Gloucester cattle, by contrast, evolved in a grass-based system. They convert forage into milk and meat efficiently without heavy reliance on grain. That alone shifts the economics of a farm. Lower feed costs mean lower financial risk, especially in regions where imported feed is volatile in price or supply. Sustainability is not just about reducing inputs. It is about matching livestock to landscape. Gloucester cattle are medium-sized, strong-boned, and well-adapted to temperate pasture systems. They thrive on rotational grazing, make good use of mixed swards, and maintain body condition without extreme supplementation. Their ability to handle wet ground, uneven terrain, and variable weather makes them suitable for low-input grazing systems that prioritize soil health. When cattle can live comfortably on grass, farmers can focus on improving pasture rather than compensating for genetic limitations. Milk quality is another reason Gloucester cattle are gaining attention. Their milk is not about maximum volume. It is about composition. Higher butterfat and protein levels make their milk ideal for traditional cheese production. The most famous product linked to the breed is Single Gloucester cheese and its richer cousin Double Gloucester cheese. These cheeses helped define the agricultural identity of Gloucestershire for centuries. In modern sustainable farming, value-added products like farmhouse cheese are often more profitable than selling commodity milk. Gloucester cows produce milk that supports that model naturally. From a beef perspective, Gloucester cattle mature at a moderate pace, which fits well with grass-finished systems. Rapid growth under high grain feeding can produce impressive carcass weights, but it also comes with environmental and health trade-offs. Gloucester beef develops flavor slowly on pasture. It tends to have good marbling without excessive external fat, and the eating quality is often described as rich and traditional. For consumers who care about provenance and pasture-raised meat, that story matters. Flavor becomes part of sustainability because it supports premium pricing and direct marketing. Another key advantage is temperament. Gloucester cattle are widely regarded as docile and manageable. Calm animals reduce stress on both farmer and herd. Stress influences weight gain, milk letdown, and overall health. In smaller scale or regenerative systems, where cattle may be moved frequently for rotational grazing, a cooperative temperament makes daily management smoother. That human-animal relationship is often ignored in sustainability debates, but it plays a real role in long-term viability. The history of Gloucester cattle also highlights a broader lesson about genetic diversity. In the 20th century, industrial farming nearly eliminated many traditional breeds. Gloucester numbers fell dramatically, and at one point they were listed as critically endangered by conservation groups. Farmers had shifted toward specialized high-output breeds that dominated global markets. But reliance on a narrow genetic base carries risk. Disease susceptibility, fertility problems, and metabolic stress can become widespread when diversity shrinks. Reviving Gloucester cattle is not only about nostalgia. It is about restoring resilience into the livestock gene pool. Organizations such as the Rare Breed Survival Trust played a major role in protecting the breed during its lowest point. By encouraging small herds, promoting awareness, and supporting breeding programs, they ensured that Gloucester cattle did not disappear. Today, as more farmers search for hardy, low-input animals, that conservation work is paying off. The breed that once seemed outdated now looks surprisingly modern in its suitability for regenerative agriculture. One of the defining features of Gloucester cattle is their distinctive appearance. They are deep red or mahogany in color with a white stripe running along the back and white on the belly and tail switch. This striking pattern is not just aesthetic. It represents a stable genetic identity shaped by centuries of selection for performance under local conditions. In a marketplace where branding and story matter, that visual identity also helps farms stand out. Consumers remember cattle that look different from the uniform black or red herds they see elsewhere. Fertility and calving ease are critical in sustainable systems. Gloucester cows are known for relatively easy calving and strong maternal instincts. High fertility reduces the need for intensive reproductive interventions. Calves that are vigorous at birth and cows that mother well lower labor demands and veterinary costs. Over time, these small efficiencies add up. A sustainable farm is not built on one big breakthrough but on dozens of practical advantages working together. Longevity is another area where Gloucester cattle shine. Many modern high-output dairy cows are pushed to produce so intensely that their productive lifespan shortens. Gloucester cows, managed in grass-based systems, often remain productive for many years. A longer lifespan reduces replacement rates. Fewer replacement heifers mean lower rearing costs and a smaller environmental footprint per unit of milk or meat produced. Sustainability often hides in these long-term metrics rather than short-term yield records. There is also a social dimension to the resurgence of Gloucester cattle. Consumers increasingly want to know where their food comes from. They are drawn to heritage breeds, regional specialties, and transparent production systems. Gloucester cattle fit neatly into that narrative. When a farmer can say that the milk comes from a traditional British breed raised on pasture in a regenerative system, it connects with people on a deeper level than anonymous commodity production. That emotional connection supports local food networks and strengthens rural economies. Climate change adds another layer to the conversation. More unpredictable, farmers need animals that can handle variation. Gloucester cattle evolved in a climate known for wet winters and variable summers. Their moderate frame and efficient forage utilization give them flexibility. While no breed is a silver bullet for climate challenges, choosing cattle that are not dependent on intensive indoor systems or imported feed reduces vulnerability. The integration of beef and dairy production is another reason Gloucester cattle represent the future. Specialized dairy breeds often produce male calves that have limited value in beef markets. In contrast, Gloucester calves from dairy cows can grow into respectable beef animals. This dual-purpose efficiency reduces waste and improves overall farm economics. Instead of viewing beef and dairy as separate industries, Gloucester cattle allow farmers to operate a more integrated system. Regenerative agriculture emphasizes soil health, biodiversity, and carbon sequestration. Well-managed grazing cattle play a role in that process. Gloucester cattle, with their suitability for rotational grazing and mixed pasture systems, align well with regenerative principles. They are not oversized animals that compact soil excessively. They are adaptable grazers that can contribute to pasture improvement when managed thoughtfully. Breed choice alone does not guarantee regenerative success, but it supports it. Small and medium-scale farms stand to benefit particularly from Gloucester cattle. These operations often cannot compete with large industrial producers on sheer volume. Instead, they focus on quality, story, and direct relationships with customers. Gloucester milk for artisan cheese, Gloucester beef for local butchers, and farm tours featuring a rare heritage breed create diversified income streams. In that context, the breed becomes part of a broader business model built on differentiation rather than scale. As we look at the future of sustainable beef and dairy farming, one thing becomes clear. Progress is not always about pushing animals harder or chasing higher output. Sometimes it is about choosing breeds that were built for balance from the start. Gloucester cattle represent that balance. They combine efficient grass conversion, rich high solids milk, flavorful pasture-raised beef, strong fertility, and long productive lifespans in a way that fits naturally into regenerative and low-input systems. In a world where feed costs are rising, climate patterns are shifting, and consumers are demanding transparency, Gloucester cattle offer resilience. They thrive on forage rather than heavy grain rations. They support value-added dairy products like Double Gloucester cheese. They provide dual-purpose efficiency that reduces waste and improves whole farm profitability. And perhaps most importantly, they remind us that sustainability starts with genetics that work with the land, not against it. The revival of this heritage breed is not just about preserving history. It is about building farming systems that are economically stable, environmentally responsible, and rooted in real quality. Gloucester cattle prove that the future of beef and dairy can be productive without being extractive, profitable without being industrial, and modern without losing tradition. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into sustainable cattle breeds, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear whether you think heritage breeds like Gloucester cattle are the key to the future of farming.